Thanks everybody for coming into the session. My name is PG Geldenhuys. I'm the Strategic Alliance Chair for EO Cape Town. And today is a mini masterclass, I suppose, on sales funnel, and then on the technology partner that EO has acquired, ZOHO, and how their technology can assist us in implementing a sales funnel in the business. Now, if you're like me, sales has never been the strong point. I like people, but I don't necessarily like sales. And what a sales funnel does, among other things, is gives you a systemic, time-driven process of actually doing sales, which is something that I found quite useful as I embarked on this process. And I'll get into this graphic that's in front of you in a second. Just something about me. I'm a EO member like yourself, several different businesses in the tourism sector. And currently I am the Strategic Alliance Chair for Cape Town, which is why I'm presenting you with this learning opportunity today. So without further ado, the agenda for today is we're going to spend just probably in the area of about half an hour taking you through maybe 40 minutes taking you through the learning and the products, and then there's some time for Q&A at the very end. I want to take you through the standard operating procedures of a sales funnel, what that looks like if you could implement it in your business, inclusive of generating leads, making your stages of a funnel timeline driven, and what signals moves you from one stage to the next. Then I want to show you a few things, how you can embed some technology into your website for lead generation, how you can integrate forms, leads, deals, and all of the different bits and pieces, how you can automate a lot of your core processes that you have in your business currently, and what we call the CEO dashboard, what numbers you should be looking at. So there's a little bit of around the tech that we like to use in this platform, and then just particularly to ZOHO and the deal EO has with ZOHO. I'll talk about how do you sign up, what are the benefits, and some help that we can maybe give you if you wanted to have an implementation partner. So just for the purpose of this, thanks everybody for staying on mute. I don't mind that you don't have your video on today. If you want to ask a question, please leave it till I've kind of cruised through the whole presentation, and then we can talk about it, or you can put it in the chat and I'll attend to it once I've run through the core of what I'm showing you. So it'll take about 20-25 minutes, and then we can have a discussion. All right. So first and foremost, in the Accelerator program, which is one of our EO training programs, there's this wonderful addition, and it's called the Sales Playbook. And it particularly talks about what is your play-by-play for sales. Sales is the one thing that will drive your business into scaling. And it's one thing that a lot of us entrepreneurs, especially folks like myself that have bootstrapped, have never been particularly good at. We've just kind of figured it out as we go along. But at some point, you should have procedures, you should have a system. Every good coach has a system. They have an approach to the game, which will help them get to victory. So, and they're very intentional, and they coach their teams on this play. Most famously, in the South African context of late, Rassie Erasmus's 55th minute, the move, where he basically replaced the backline players with the forwards to completely flamboozle England and force a penalty in the 55th minute. He didn't show it to them. He kept it secret. They trade indoors, and it was a game-changing moment because it took them out of reach of a penalty equalization. So every coach has a play-by-play. Every good coach, they don't just go into a game hoping for the best, right? How does this translate to the sales funnel? Well, once you've piecemealed the different stages of client acquisition, you can then systemize it and get your sales team to play to a playbook. That's an operating procedure that you can put in play in your business. You go from awareness, where you go and find these people, then discovery, where you qualify those leads. You're going to have that initial interaction with them, and you find out what their needs analysis is. Then there's evaluation, where you make an offer, intent, where you negotiate, you can find out if they're interested, you get a proposal out. And then there's purchase, where they really want to do it. And now you kind of have to have the always be closing, get the deal closed. And after you've done that, obviously all the stuff that happens afterwards, communication, service, delivering the product, and instilling customer loyalty, which is crucial. So this is an example of what the sales funnel looks like for my Luxury Safaris business. I've broken it down into the lead times, how many prospects probably gets into the funnel, how many people spits out at the end of this process, and what are the different things that I need to be doing every step of the way to make sure we pass them along in this funnel. So I suppose if you wanted to have operating a system either individually or with your team, you need to work through a document like this, where you plot out the stages. How long does the stage take? What are the outcomes to know that the stage is finished? What will let me know that I'm close to going to the next stage? What's the milestones, and what tools do you use, right, to work play by play? In the example of a Lucky Safari's business, we use a tool called Where2, which is the initial prospecting tool, and the interaction on this online platform, which we can monitor, helps us to know where we should go. We also, you will see on stage 2, a phone consult is crucial. To have the phone consult moves us to stage 3, and a timeline commitment from the client and a Where2 is the things that we look for. So these are all technical terms pertaining to my industry, but in your industry, you will have the same things. I want to show you what this could look like in a Kanban board on ZOHO. If we were to use a CRM system and to put all of these stages in play on a Kanban board. And then I suppose, so the idea is, technology doesn't solve a systemic problem. You need to articulate systemically what sales, particularly as a process, looks like. And then fundamentally, I suppose, can everybody hear me? I'm just checking. I see I've got an unstable connection. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me fine.
Well, you were broken up there for a moment, but you seem to be back.
I'm back. Okay. Let me pick it up where I was. Right. So you need to articulate the system, and then once you've articulated the system, your playbook, then you can look at technology to support that playbook, to support that operating process, and to make your life easier. The other thing that I wanted to chat to you about is, obviously, ZOHO is one of the many platforms out there. Well, I like the system, and particularly ZOHO feels like this, and ZOHO One, which is what we as EO have allied with in terms of a deal for members, is a system that replaces a lot of legacy systems that you might have been using. If you've been using some kind of interface to monitor your social media, ZOHO does that for you. If you wanted to automate your emails to your customers, ZOHO does that for you. If you wanted to send out surveys for NPS scores, or just to get some feedback from your customers, there's a tool for that instead of SurveyMonkey. If you wanted to send out newsletters, there's a campaigns functionality that replaces MailChimp and seamlessly integrates with your contact management. And then, of course, there is the CRM, which is the backbone of the system and would replace something like Salesforce, Pipedrive, HubSpot. But without further ado, let me share with you what this could look like. And I'll just start off by, if you could go to the chat, and I will just post it again. There's a link in the chat. If you could go to the chat and click on this link and just fill out this little form for me that I've posted there for you. Everybody could just do that for me for a second. And you'll see it's a request for consult form. Now, what I would like you to do for me here, and I just want to take you through the process of what like a request on a website could look like into ZOHO. So put your name in, email, and then request for me, I would like to sign up for ZOHO, the third option on your preferred choice there. I'll give you a minute to do that. And just give me a thumbs up if you've completed, so I can move on. Bridget, thank you. See what Helm's done that. So, all right. Perfect. So I'm going to share. I want to share with you what this looks like. Okay. So you will see this is my homepage for ZOHO, and just as you guys have filled out that ZOHO form, it's popped out here on my right hand side in terms of today's leads. If I went to my leads tab, you'll see there's Wahid and Barry Futter, Bridget Donnelly. I called myself Jim Johnson for the purposes of this exercise. So now let me convert Wahid Adam, because I have been talking to him already. So I am going to actually, let me just open up Wahid Adam. Right. So he is a lead. There's Adam and iTouch. I'm going to convert him into a deal. I'm going to add him to an existing contact. And I've already got Wahid in my database because we've been talking. Done. I'm going to create a new deal for him. I'm going to say Wahid and I'm talking about 100,000 Rand implementation. It's a technology consult. I do want to kind of have a yay or a nay from him because we've been talking by the end of September, and we're already talking on consult and pricing stage 2. Right, and now I convert him. So if I had to go to deals, I would now see Wahid sitting in here in consult and pricing, right? He would be as part of this stage funnel. And as I took, and now what I could do is I could build in automations in this technology to send emails to him depending on what I want the system to do. And I could also manually move in with my sales team could manually move in and say, okay, we've actually got a first date set for our presentation, and we could move them to stage 3, or we could move him to stage 4. And you'll see the numbers will adjust every time we do that, right? So it's a Kanban board, and then you can build in automations every time you want something to happen. You would have seen an email in your inbox from me with the actual PDF for the ZOHO implementation. That's an automation that we've built in. Where we do that is in the other part of the system, which is the forms. This is the form space, and we can put anything into this form that we want to, and we could set in the automations any way we want to send a PDF, to send another link, to go to another page, to go to the website, all kinds of stuff. The cool thing that I like about this is if I go to, let's go to my personal plan, you can embed this form on your website, right? So you can sit there on your personal website, and then you can go straight through to the CRM and into your leads funnel, and then you can convert it to a deal from there. So these are some of the things that the system will do for you. There's a lot of other functionality, but that's the bones of what the CRM does. Now, one last thing I want to show you here, which I personally, when I went to ZOHO in terms of sales, this makes it a really easy dashboard to consult with your sales team on where all the clients sit in your weekly sales meetings. There's also this incredible sort of CEO dashboard that gets generated that you can customize, that tells you where you sit on all your targets. Last three months, what is the lead sources? What is your revenue target? Where are you in terms of your year for leads this month, revenue, all of your key numbers that you should be tracking on a continuous basis as you cycle through this technology. So very cool leads into deals format. And then obviously, once these people are all in your contacts file inside of the system, you could do lots of things here. And this is why I originally went onto the system a few years ago. You can set up automations to talk to these customers. In my case, I like birthday reminders, anniversary reminders, automated emails to certain clients, personalized emails to others, to make sure that I never ever forget anybody. And you can build these automations into your system, both in forms and in the CRM. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's on top of that. Like I said, there's a campaigns function, there's a survey function. I can't get into the complexity of it. It can be really, really comprehensive. But that's the core way that I've used the system for. Now, if I could open up for you just one last piece here. Let me move it across. 1 second. Here we go. So this is a circular that we've put out to all the members, telling you what the EO deal with ZOHO looks like. We have basically done a deal for South Africa and all of the MEPA members, where you will get 10,000 Rand in ZOHO wallet credits if you sign up to the system through a link that is down here on this particular PDF. I will put it in the chat now again for those of you who want to have a look at it. But you go to this link, be sure to select ZOHO 1. You scroll down and select ZOHO 1 so you get the all-in-one suite of products. There's other options there, but select ZOHO 1, please. And then what will happen is 3 things, right? So the system guides you through implementing. I would do this once I have my sales funnel completed as a start, right? Like, just understand what you want to do in terms of client relationship management before you implement the system, so you build it correctly from the start. But the system will take you through some standard setups which you can customize. ZOHO will once you sign up, they will also give you a call. There will be people on hand to help you, and there's numerous webinars, training workshops, or ZOHO partners that can help you implement. But as a self-help, which is I suppose is what I've done this time around, you can simply go on and start building the system as you would like it to look for you. I do, however, recommend that you bring in an expert to help you take you through the process. And with that said, I think I'm going to give over to well, Wilhelm. Before I get to you, is there any questions before I get to Wilhelm as said expert? Put your hand up if you've got a question.
Peter, here's a question.
Yes.
Just to understand, it says that the credits be utilized once you want to upgrade. So I'm guessing there's a free version to begin with.
Yeah. What you'll find is you'll sign up, you'll use the free version, and you'll get to a point where you want to build another form or you want to do something else that says please upgrade to paid. Then you go to the upgrade tab, and it'll say to you, you've got 10,000 Rand. Do you want to do an annual plan or a monthly plan? I would just sign up for the annual plan, starting with 1 employee that's building this for you. It's at 525 Rand per month, and basically it'll take off, I think, like 6,000 Rands off that credit, and then you've got the system basically free for a year, and that's what that looks like.
And why would I need to upgrade it? What's the difference to that of the free version?
Because the free version, for example, you can only build like 3 forms, and then it stops. Like it doesn't give you the ability to build out the environment completely. It gives you a little bit, but not the full functionality.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
All right, since no one's else asking, I'll have another one. So am I correct in assuming this is largely around monitoring the sales cycle of your business?
That's how I use it. That's the ZOHO has built a complete ERP integrated system, and Wilhelm is actually going to come in to tell you about the other things that it does do. For the purposes of today, because I'm running a few workshops over the next 3 weeks to showcase different things that the system does. But in terms of client engagement, it's got a brilliant functionality, and that's why I originally installed it for my purposes. But there's a whole bunch of other things that it does do.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I'm going to stop share and give the floor to Wilhelm from Outsource CFO. Wilhelm's partner, Lo, is also EU member here in Cape Town, and ZOHO is one of the technology products that they implement with their clients as a turnkey, I suppose, all-in-one solution. Wilhelm, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Peter. Yeah, so just for today's session, Wahid, maybe if I can just comment on your last question there. Today was really focused on looking at the sales funnel component. Peter has set out 3 strategic sessions. Today focusing on CRM. Next week I'll be facilitating the session on how to drive NPS scores, and then the 3rd session would be looking at the wider automation side that ZOHO One as a complete package can offer. So when one looks at ZOHO, one can look at it very simply at looking at only using it for the sales funnel, and many organizations that's where their initial needs start, and that's a good thing. I want to drive my sales funnel more effectively. I want to have not the whole world. I just want basic automation, a simple follow-up email that goes out automatically. That's really where ZOHO CRM component really enables an organization to start off with. But as we know, in all our organizations, it never remains just that simple. Once we have that, we want the next piece and the next piece. We want finance integration. We want a bit of project management. We want timelines. We want dashboards. We want those things. And that's really where ZOHO One as a package and where the upgrade component comes in, to be able to start accessing all of those components. So from our side at Outsource CFO, we were using a specific piece of technology. In actual fact, we were using 15 pieces of technology. And they were all great individually, and some of them could be integrated with each other, and many of them unfortunately couldn't. So we were looking for internally just doing research on what solution is out there that ticks most of our boxes. And we went to everything from new technology for $10 a month up to the ERP solutions. And at the end of the day, we settled on ZOHO One, and we use that internally for our team of just over 40 professionals on a day-to-day basis. And we use that literally for everything. We use it, the CRM that we saw here today. We use it for our project management. We do monthly project management on all our clients. We use it for all our surveys and collecting of data. We use it to be POPI compliant, hot topic at the moment. So ZOHO comes with all the POPI and the GDPR. If you are operating internationally, it comes with those accreditations in terms of how the database is structured, how it's secured, and what you can encrypt and can't encrypt, and who has access to what information. So that's really where ZOHO came in for us. It even helps us on our recruitment front, having online portals where people can apply, it rates them, it weights them. So there's a whole host of things that ZOHO could do for organization. So we really just started using it ourselves. We didn't start with the intention to implement it. We focused in the finance industry. And then we start combining the finance function with this key operational function, and clients start seeing what we were doing, clients started loving what we were doing, and just a natural outflow. As a technology implementer, we also started rolling out ZOHO for clients, and we've done simple, easy, quick wins for clients. And then we've also done the large systems whereby you get a SAP-like functionality, but at an absolute fraction of the cost. Because the nice thing about ZOHO in South Africa is that as of last year, they rolled out South African Rand pricing. So that's something that's really, really nice. You're not connected to the dollar exchange rate every week, wondering what next month's fees are going to be like. You have a fixed South African Rand pricing. It's one of the few countries in the world when it comes to ZOHO that has country-specific pricing. So that's something that's really amazing. Wahid, I see you have a question there.
Yeah, thank you. Wilhelm, just to be clear, I think you already answered it, but just so that I'm clear, you can take your existing clients and load them onto the platform and manage your client base from there every month. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. So there's so what we typically do from a consulting point of view is we sit with you, look at the technology that you're using currently. If it's an Excel spreadsheet, yes, import function. If you're using something like HubSpot, there's also a connector between the two in order to do the migration process. There's a lot of pieces of technology out there that already helps you to get onto ZOHO, but we use it to hold all our client data, encrypted at the correct level so that only the right people can see data at the right time, POPI compliant, and use it to drive all our deliverables on our clients. So I hope that answers your question.
Did I hear you correct in saying that you guys help a company implement?
Yes, we do. So
Okay.
so that's one of the reasons why Peter asked us to be on this call. So what we are offering to the EO membership is a for example a starter pack, where we really focused at a quick and easy engagement to get you guys going so that you don't have to pay the expensive school fees and necessarily have to go and figure it out all by yourself. So we've done this with clients in the past, and we help you navigate the process of setting out your sales funnel, giving some best practices, help you to enable the technology. We do full training, full integration, automation, and then eventually as you grow in your ZOHO journey, then you get to a place whereby you have something that is very specific to your organization, something that has a unique competitive advantage that your competitors don't have yet. And that's where something like ZOHO Creator comes in, which I'll touch on more in the last session, but whereby you can actually, with a very easy interface, build your own application without having to write a single line of code. So it's called a low code application. So in order to put together something that the system, they have the components, but not the way you wanted it. So you can reconfigure it to be exactly the way you want it. But that's the I want to say further down the line as you grow down your ZOHO journey.
So I know how long is a piece of string here, but what's the typical consultative process in terms of time and cost from your side?
So this specific starter package that we're talking about is a 10,000 Rand package that we put together specifically for the EO members, and that is in order to get you going. So it's focused at setting up your CRM, helping you with a little bit of POPI compliance, giving you the guidance in terms of how to configure your users, some what to do's and what not to do's, because there are many of those critical flaws that one can do inadvertently without knowing. So what you've said it so well to say how long is a piece of string. So during that first engagement, what we do is it's called a light system gap analysis. We look at what does your business do, what is your core value, what systems are you using currently, and how would that translate to a ZOHO environment? Which of the 40 applications that comes with ZOHO 1 would you want to use in a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4? And then we plan that roadmap and scope the cost with that. So what we typically see from ZOHO implementations from a organization that has around about 10 people, that's anything between 50 and 80,000. We're looking at a longer roadmap. We're talking about expenditure over a year, but then we've got companies that are 450 employees that uses a much more advanced component of ZOHO. So that would obviously be at a larger cost the more time we spend developing the application for their specific unique company needs.
Thank you.
Most welcome. All right. So what we are here for as a part of the EO network is we are here. We are available if you need any help, if you want any help, and if you have any questions. We've done it. We've made the mistakes. We've learned. We've paid our own school fees. and we are here to be of assistance as you start your ZOHO journey. So yeah, Peter, over to you.
Thanks, Wilhelm. And guys, so just for clarity, ZOHO has done a deal with EO, where every single EOA member in the MEPA region gets 10,000 rands of credits, and you can do everything yourself. You can put in the time and the effort to try and figure it all out yourself and pay the school fees in that process. ZOHO also has implementation partners that they will introduce to you in their email flow that you could use. And you could also use Outsource CFO, our Cape Town member, who also does this. So do it yourself, use sort of the global ZOHO recommended suppliers, or use Outsource CFO. These are 3 options for implementation, or don't do it at all and stick with what you've got because you like what you've got. And that's also completely fine. We're offering this benefit to the membership, but only look into it if you've got a problem to solve. And that's my final thought on this. Is if you feel like there's a problem your current tech isn't solving for you, have a look. Maybe there's something there.
I'll have to add to that and say that sometimes you think you don't have a problem until you realize there's solutions for things that you have, but you didn't realize that it was a problem to begin with. So technology is an interesting journey, and automation is key, I guess, in our world going forward. So yeah, if you don't think you got the problem, but think you can improve your ways of work, then you've got to have an open mind to these things.
Exactly.
If I may add, Peter.
Yeah, sorry, but I'll get back. Next week, we're talking about net promoter scores, which is a word and a term that I didn't even understand 3 years ago. But it's a crucial part of the Rockefeller habits, the scaling up methodology that we teach in the EOA community. And it's a crucial thing that all businesses should do, is get regular customer feedback and get regular employee feedback. And to your point, Wahid, I didn't even know I had this problem. Then I kind of went through the learning process, and I realized this is something that I probably need to do. And then boom, then I say, oh, ZOHO makes this easy for you to not only do this, but track this on a continuous basis. It's all about data and improving, figuring out what your victory condition is. But getting useful feedback from both your customers and your employees is something we'll talk about next week as an example of a problem that I didn't even know I had to solve. But I'm glad I can solve it now. But Alan?
Yes, I was going to say exactly the same. What I also just want to add there, Wahid, is that many of us have been in business for a while. We've been in business for 10, 20, 30 years. And as we've grown through our business journey, we've seen technology develop. And at some point, we might have asked ourselves the question, oh, I wish the technology could do this as well. And maybe I should get a developer and actually build this for me. Some of you might have gone down that roadmap and learned a lot of things that it's not always that it wasn't that easy. The nice thing about where technology is at now, and specifically relating to the ZOHO conversation, is that technology has progressed to that point whereby building applications has become easy, and has become something that it is not just reserved for the large corporates out there. They can now be accessed by the SME market as well. So apart from not knowing what the problem was, there's also now the ability to go and look at what is your wish list. Do you have that wish list of what you wish technology could do for you? And dust that one off, because technology has progressed to a point whereby it is now accessible to the SME market as well. Peter, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry, rookie error. Any other questions? Cool. So thanks for those of you that attended. Thank you, Wilhelm. Wilhelm's details, if you can just put that in the chat, your email address if folks on this call want to get a hold of you. What I'm doing in terms of this stuff is these sessions will be recorded, and I will load them onto my YouTube channel and also create a web page for all the ZOHO stuff. Obviously, trying to make my life easier as a strategic alliance chair, I don't want people asking these questions, so I want to put all the stuff on there and just send people to where the information is. Next week, we will be doing Net Promoter Scores and focus on what is it, why is it important, and how can ZOHO help you achieve that. And then we will be focusing on all the automations. Again, in the world we live in now, if you're not maximizing technology to use automations to take the load off your team and yourself, you're missing a trick. And we would love to show you what this system can do in terms of that as well. So thanks everyone for being with us. Thank you, Helen, for your time. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.